Morrison with Space Coast Area Transit's Transit Talk, and I am here today with National Geographic travel journalist, New York Times bestseller, and author of The Penguin, Andrew Evans. And Andrew is here exploring the Florida Space Coast, and he is also the keynote speaker for tomorrow's B4 Summit, and we are so excited to have him here in Brevard County. Right now we are over at we're at Millikens in Port Canaveral and getting ready for tomorrow's events. So Andrew, tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you here to the Space Coast all the way from Washington, D.C.
Great, I will. Thank you, Christina. It's great to be here. I just landed like an hour ago and just got hit with this amazing ray of sunshine. And even though it's January, if you can believe it, it is warm, there's a nice breeze, it's beautiful, so I'm very happy to be here in Brevard County. And I came here for your summit, your B4 Summit, to celebrate all these things that connect together to make Brevard County so cool. Your beach, your buses, your bikes, which are new, I'm excited about that. And birds for me as well, because that's something I'm going to be doing today. You have incredible wildlife here. For me, working for National Geographic, birds, wildlife, anything nature-oriented is exciting for me. So I've come down to kind of attend this conference, to speak at the conference, share lessons learned from my job on the road all over the world, but also to get a taste of what Brevard County has to offer and what makes this place unique.
Great, so you're going tomorrow, or you're going today down to Titusville for that birding festival. So that is, you're kind of getting a stretch. You're here in Cape Canaveral now, going to Titusville. You are definitely going to experience all of the things that make Brevard County so unique. I understand one of the big reasons too, while you were invited for the keynote, was because you actually took public transit all the way from Washington D.C. to Antarctica.
That's correct.
And you know, what are some of the things that you learned while you were doing it? That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it is. I learned a lot, but just so you know, it was an experiment. I wanted to see if it could be done, and luckily it worked out. Because I'm a big believer in public transit. I think it's very important, and I think we can do better in the United States. But I wanted to test this philosophy that I have, that you can really go anywhere in transit. And transit's about opening up the world. It's not limiting. And I said, how far can I get just by taking public buses? I didn't even plan it ahead. I just kept on getting buses going south till there was no more south, to the bottom of the world. And that was a 12,000 mile journey that I took. And that story you can read about in my recent book, The Black Penguin. But it applies to Brevard County in that you have a very long county, an unusually long county, one of the longest in the United States. And the question we all have every day when we wake up is, where are we going? What are we doing? It's a problem of geography. And here you've got you're blessed with amazing geography. You have the ocean, you've got the beach, you've got these incredible wetlands, but you also have you've got a piece of space right here, something that nobody else in the world has. You're connected to the universe right here in Brevard County. And so I'm interested in connecting those dots between something as local as, here we are on the beach with palm trees, to the future. And that includes space travel and everything that comes with it. And that's why I'm excited to be here.
Well, we are so glad to have you. I think there may be a launch coming up while you're here visiting.
Yeah.
Yes, Where else are you planning on stopping in Brevard County while you're here?
Well, I want to see as much as I can. I am excited about seeing the wildlife this afternoon. I would like to get into some wetlands, onto the Indian River. I definitely want to see the beach. I love the ocean. I love everything about it, the smells, the seashells, the water. And I'm really excited about going to the Space Center because I am a space nerd. I think we all are secretly. And it stops, for me, so much of what I read is almost science fiction. And when you come here and you go to Kennedy Space Center, you see that, this is real life. This is real. There are people working on this every day that are connecting us to the wider universe. So that's kind of going to be a highlight for me, I think.
Well, good. That is going to be quite the experience for sure. You can't come to Brevard County and not go check that out, see how everything is connected. So. We talked about a few things. Of course, here in Brevard County, we have a lot of travelers and tourists. And for somebody who's been all over the world, what advice would you give to our audience for them to take away when it comes to traveling to new places or discovering new things?
Well, my first word of advice is not to listen to any of my advice because travel is very personal. There's no right way to do it. You know, one person's beach resort and it's another person's hell. Some people like big, fancy, luxurious hotels with big elevators. Some people just want a small Airbnb on a beach and be quiet. So travel your way, travel the way that makes you happy, and find out what that is. And I think it helps to do research, and luckily with the internet we can do that. But I always say, don't plan too much. Be open to wherever you go. Don't come to Brevard County and say, I'm going to do these 3 things only. I'm not a big fan of bucket lists because I feel like it confines us to a certain limit of things, and to be open to letting whatever happen. And the way you do that is you get out. So whenever I go to a new place, one of the first things I do is I put on my running shoes and I go for, you know, a half-hour run, just to orient myself, to see what's out there, to see what kind of falls in my path. And it's amazing the things that you see. And I think a lot of times locals take these things for granted. You know, we just had a pelican fly over for lunch, which I know everybody in Florida is like, that's like, you know, rats in DC. It's like not, but for me, they're beautiful birds, and they've got this beautiful, you know, these faces and this kind of flush feathers, and to me, that's really exotic. That's why I know I'm somewhere new. So be open, get out, explore, get a little bit uncomfortable. And I'm a big fan of public transit. I say use transit, because why look for parking, pay for parking, why lug all your stuff around, ditch it all at the hotel, leave it. With transit, you can really go anywhere. And especially in this county, it connects all the things that you want to see, and it's convenient. It makes travel lighter and easier. And yeah, those are my travel tips. It's what I mean, I'm not just saying this about Brevard County. These are the same things I do if I'm in China. You know, I was just in Cambodia. I was using public transit there. Some places I've used public transit, it's an ox cart that's pulling me. But it's public and other people are using it. You meet local people, you interact with them, and that's where you're really going to find out what this part of the world is all about. Not staying in your own little bubble in your own car.
Leaving room for adventure.
Always.
Leave a little bit of that.
Always,
so
yeah.
I hope that we've left you a little bit of room for adventure on this trip. We are so excited to have you for the B4 Summit tomorrow, speaking and sharing some more of your stories. Thank you again so much for being here and chatting. I'm going to take some of those notes back with me too for my next trip. So.
Well, thank you, Christina, and thank you all of you.
Thank you. So again, I'm Christina with Space Coast Area Transit Talk, and we will see you next time.